Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Bearded Fortech. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. That is an exhaust phaser off of that 3.7 engine that I did with 200-something thousand miles on it. That's the intake, that's the exhaust. I don't know where the other intake is. There's the chains. They were over there on that mat, but I don't know where the other one went. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these apart. This one was making noise, this one, so we're gonna focus on this one. All right, remember, this is the intake one. This is the one that was on the driver's side. This is the one that was making the most noise. We will get to this one in a minute. I'll show you the internals and I'll show you how these things work. The tool that you need to take these out is actually called a TP30, Tango Papa 30. And if you look, the tip of it is more round than a Torx. It's not squared off or sharp like a Torx. So let's go ahead and crack this one open. And this is the exhaust side. Now remember, this came out of a 2017 Transit 3.7 liter. Had 200 and something thousand miles on it. It's been running AMSOIL for about the past 2.5 years. It goes 8,000 to 10,000 miles on an oil change. On that last video that I'll link down here or up here somewhere, that is where I tore the engine apart so I could put new phasers and stuff in it. So here's the plate, the front plate. And if you look inside, actually, it doesn't look dirty. Doesn't look dirty. And we'll take this apart and I'll show you how it works. Get a rag and wipe this off, see if there's any wear. From rattle or anything like that. Well, you can see where it sits in the inside here and it moves back and forth. Slight little bit of wear right there. This is where the pin sits, right there where my thumb's at. The pin being this right here, there's a spring. Down inside here, there's a pin. I'll show you, so how it works, oil flow. Oil flow comes through here. It pushes on this pin through here, which pushes up against this plate and will allow this to spin. Right now it's locked into a certain position because there's no oil pressure. But I'll take this piece off, probably gonna get springs to fly out. Let me see if I can get some of these springs out without them flying out everywhere. Because I don't want to take it apart with the springs and then they go flying. Get a pair of needle nose pliers here. And see if I can squeeze these. Right. See how the spring sits in there? It sits on a shim. Obviously, I'm not keeping these. These aren't any good. There's the spring. I'll get the pin out in a second. That way I can separate the outer from the inner. Without shooting things everywhere. So if I lift it up, see how it turns? If I push it back down, it locks right there because it hits that pin. But if I lift it up just slightly, it pushes it, pushing down, it locks into place. So, a bunch of little shims. Springs, excuse me, not shims. There. So that sat inside there that way. Spring sat inside of it like that through that bore. which locks in right here. You see where the oil comes through it. Let's see here. Let's get some brake cleaner or something to spray that out. Might as well just clean it all off and look at it, huh? That's, okay, oil does not come through that. That's that actual pin right there. So that's the old style. It would actually sit through the back right there. Let's wipe it off. Let's see what kind of wear we got going on here. And this is controlled by those VVTs, solenoids. The ones with the screens on them at the top. Remember those? Seeing anywhere on the inside? Not really. Not really. Anywhere on the outside or the mating plate? Just the normal where it slides back and forth. It's fun to break these things apart and look at them. You see a little bit of wear right there. I don't know how wear. There's some wear right there. Supposedly this is the newer design. Some of the 2017s didn't have this design. They had the one with the spring on the outside. Somewhere that's normal, except for I would be concerned about that one. See, that's where the oil comes in. Oil passage, oil passage, oil passage. Any abnormal wear? I don't see any abnormal wear. So it's not too bad. You can see where the oil comes in right there. And that's also where the pin, I think that's where the pin slides on this one, this new style? No, because the pin's inside. So not too bad. Let's break out this intake. This is the one that was making noise. Got a little bit more wear on it right there. Now see how this one doesn't have springs inside of it? I wonder why this one was making so much noise. right there. See that? So remember, this has 200-something thousand miles on it. Never had a timing job done. That I never did a timing job on it. There's some wear. So this one's worn more than the other one is. Like that. It's almost like a weld. So this one has significantly more wear on this one. I've seen them a lot worse. A lot worse. Right there. And right there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There you go. Right there. And right there. So that's probably where the noise was coming from on that one. Let's look at the exhaust one. It wasn't making a whole lot. Popped up, see that? Slight right here and right there. Yeah. Oh yeah. This one wasn't making as much noise as the intake one, but this one, I think this one got hot. Where'd my rag go? Drop it? I did. Oh yeah, that one's got wear in it. So maybe this one, yeah, this one was making noise just like the intake one was. But for 200-something thousand miles, still not bad at all. Now the 3.5s were known for the rattle on startup. 3.7s, not really. The 5.0, yeah, known for the rattle on startup. But you can reduce that by doing flood mode. It's where you hold the throttle to the floor while you're cranking the key. And it's called clear flood mode. Keeps it from starting. So this one, look at that right there. This one did have more wear than the intake. I know I said that probably about 4 times already. You know, it didn't throw any codes either. It never threw any timing codes. It ran fine. Just, yeah. Right there. Right there. You can see where it went across. Whereas the other ones didn't. See, there's no mark. No mark. This one has a mark that goes across. Right there. Look at that other one. Yeah, none of these went across. So, that's that. So, as you can see, yes, there is a little bit of wear in there. 215,000 miles. That's to be expected. The driver's side, which would be the left side, exhaust actually had more wear than the intake one, but the intake one was making more noise than the exhaust one. So it got new phasers on it. It's that box right there. It's got new chain, new phasers, new valve covers, new front cover, new rear main seal. But 200,000 miles, the wear is really not that bad. So it was fun breaking that down and looking at it and showing you how it works. It works by oil pressure. It goes in, pushes the pin up against the plate, the oil pressure does, and allows it to turn. The big star piece allows this to turn. You see this inside? The pin goes in there, and then it will allow it to advance or retard, depending on throttle load or throttle percentage, engine load, temperature, you know, driving conditions. Are you cruise control? Are you passing somebody? It's going to move the intake and the intake and exhaust camshafts. It's going to advance or retard them to keep the valve open longer or shorter duration. So without any further ado, I love you guys, and I thank you for tuning in to this really cool little breakdown and seeing the inside of these cam phasers. And as always, I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.